My name's Clarissa. I'm a wife, a hot mess mom of four, a teacher, a baker, and I am just a girl trying to chase after God with all my heart. So I grew up with two siblings and my parents in Arizona. I had a very chaotic, unpredictable, and abusive childhood. I learned really early how to defend myself and put walls up so that people wouldn't hurt me. The only place I didn't have walls was with my grandparents, and they were very godly people. I would spend weekends with them. I would go on adventures, and they would take me to church, and it was my most favorite thing ever. But I could only spend weekends there, and so eventually I'd end up back at home where I never knew what was going to happen. I never knew if my parents were going to be affectionate or if they were going to be abusive. And so I teetered between literally being fearful of my own parents and being so excited for a good day. And it was a very, very chaotic upbringing. As I grew up and I would continue to go to church on the weekends, I had these things hidden in my heart that I didn't even realize were there. But my grandparents passed away, and it just made me mad. I was mad at God. I was really confused because I couldn't understand why such a godly woman could suffer through Alzheimer's and then eventually pass away of a common cold. And then my grandfather, the same things, in and out of hospice, and then finally just passed away, and it just hurt me to my core. I walked away, shook my fist at God, and was done. And so I spent many years, bad choices, bad decisions, harmful relationships, very, just a downward spiral that I couldn't dig myself out of. You know, I dug and I made all these bad decisions, and I just always felt like God wouldn't love me. He wouldn't understand. He would punish me for being angry at him. And so I just kept doing my own thing. And finally, I was around 19 and I met my future husband. Very, very unusual circumstances. We weren't each other's type. We didn't really get along. And so he pursued me, and I kept turning him down, but he just kept pursuing me. And so finally I gave in and we hit it off, and something inside me just kind of, I want to be better. I want to be able to be affectionate and not have my walls up. I want to be able to feel what it feels like to love somebody for real. And I tried really hard with everything in me, and we ended up married. We had a baby, and we moved to Arkansas, which brought us here to where we are now. But I just couldn't do it. I could not love him to the best of my ability in my flesh because I was so broken. I was so messed up. I didn't realize how much my childhood had wrecked me until I tried to have this very grown-up relationship and take care of my own child. And so I did what everyone does when we're desperate. We went to church and we thought, God can fix it, right? He's the Band-Aid, let's do it. So we started to church as a family, and little by little, you know, those things that I had learned as a child at church on the weekends started to come back. Those truths that there's nothing you can do, that God always loves you, that Jesus can save you. They started to resurface, and it started to melt those walls I'd put up. As those walls started to melt and they started to come down, I started to feel things and let myself be loved, which was also a struggle. You know, when you have those walls, it keeps you safe, but it keeps you lonely. But the walls came down, and I started to feel what real happiness felt like. Joy came later. Happiness was just sort of, God gave it to me, and he was like, there's more than just this. And so Something that I have always sort of clung to over the years is there's a verse in Ezekiel, it's Ezekiel 36:26, and the verse is that I will give you a new heart. Basically, you take the heart of stone out and God gives you a heart of flesh, and that is exactly what happened to me when I let God into my life. I was always very guarded and very just a mean, cruel, hard-hearted person. And the second that I allowed God to work in me and through me, he took those things and he has started, he broke them down, and it has made me a better mom, a better wife, and just a better Jesus girl, because I know how much he loves me and that it's okay to let people love me and to love people without being so guarded.